And welcome to another tropical update from Cayman Hurricane Center. And folks, we are nearing the end of, or at least the official end of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. And again, things have quietened down a bit for this part of the month, for the second half of November. And of course, the question on all's mind is it going to be a peaceful, quiet end to the season, or is the season going to go out with a bit of a bang? And the certainly the possibility is there, folks, that we could potentially end out the season with something going on out there in the Caribbean. We are monitoring a system at the moment, but again, chances of development are, well, say here. Um, the odds are sort of not the greatest, but certainly we do have a system out there to monitor. And we want to note that regardless of any tropical development, there will be some noticeable, tangible impacts to land in the Caribbean. So we'll be discussing about this. Also, would like to remind everyone, folks, that albeit that the official end of hurricane season is the 30th of November, this does not necessarily mean that tropical activity will cease to exist after that period of time. It just means that the bulk of activity in general has ended by that general period. With that being noted, we have seen tropical activity occur in practically every month of a given year. Obviously, not at the same time, but certainly in history, we have seen tropical development occur in every single month, January through December. Um, the least amount of activity that we've seen is occurring on the month of March. So certainly December, January, even February certainly could see some activity. So whilst we're not necessarily saying that activity will necessarily for sure occur, we do have to keep an eye out, albeit that we are in a relaxed phase after the month has ended and we enter December. Still, don't be surprised if there is a system or two that happens to pop out there when we do go forward. So, getting to it here, folks, we are looking at the Caribbean region, which, of course, this time of year, that would be the focus of stuff. And this is what we got out there here, folks. Just to quickly run through things here, what we're looking at. So, of course, we already had a couple cold front boundaries have reached through the Caribbean region already. What we do have here is a trough of low pressure currently in the northern Caribbean extending into the southern Bahamas. This was part of a old frontal boundary that has split off. The frontal boundary is now lifting. The remaining surface trough of low pressure remains across this area. We do also have an area of low pressure, broad area low pressure developing in the southwestern Caribbean. We also have, again, a surface trough located here. We still do have our monsoon trough extending in through the Caribbean, Southwest Caribbean into Central America and the Eastern Pacific. The other thing that we could easily see and note here on satellite imagery is that, not necessarily this imagery, but we could see on the upper level water vapor imagery. What we do have is a upper level trough hanging in here. Of course, this is inducing some upper level wind shear, of course, streaming across here parts of the Gulf of Mexico and the Northern Caribbean. And that is sort of why we are seeing the cloud flow being shot off northeast through here. We could see that. So we do see that some convective showers and thunderstorms is collating around our area of low pressure. And we're going to have to watch that As this upper level trough lifts up, there will be some allowing of wind shear to ease just a little bit. What we do have is high pressure ridging over the southwest or western North Atlantic. We do have a frontal boundary in the Gulf of Mexico. And looking at this system, there is a chance that maybe a tropical system may spin up over the Western Caribbean. And again, generally speaking, the movement will be off towards the west, maybe off to the west northwest or northwest, maybe even off to the west to west southwest. Just depends on exactly the stirring flow over the next few days and how this plays out. Certainly, it's possible if the frontal boundary comes in. Certainly, the possibility of seeing a system that gets pulled up northeast and obviously into much more unfavored environment north of Cuba, obviously halting any potential tropical development that occurs there. But something we're going to need to watch, and regardless of development, the tangible impacts of heavy rainfall occurring for portions of Western Haiti, Jamaica, where we're already seeing flash flood alerts being given for Cuba, parts of the Turks and Caicos and the southern Bahamas. As the system pulls further towards the west and that moisture plume gets pushed towards the Cayman Islands, towards central Cuba, central Bahamas, we're going to need to watch that as well. If it develops, of course, we'll have some further updates to discuss that as we go. So we'll note that. So just noting here, just to give you a perspective of how the Atlantic Basin looks as a whole, this is our surface chart. And again, as noted, here's our area of low pressure, 1,008 millibar low with that surface trough there. Old frontal trough, surface trough here. The frontal boundary weakening and lifting out, as we could see here. What we could also see here is our high pressure ridge. Of course, this is what's sort of pulling in that westerly flow. Cold front boundary getting into the Gulf of Mexico, and this is what's giving our sort of northeasterly flow here. Again, we'll have to watch this closely as we do go forwards. If the frontal boundary moves up and out quick enough, high pressure ridging will take over and then shove this thing into Central America. That's a done deal there. Either way, increased precipitation all across the Western Caribbean. So we're going to have to watch that as we go. So, folks, other than that, that is pretty much it for the hurricane season. This overall map of the season overall. Obviously, some big names for the Caribbean this year. Certainly, the Caribbean, Gulf of Mexico impacted a fair bit this season. A few out-to-sea tracks or systems impacting not much, a few of the islands out in the open Atlantic and then onwards towards Europe, but that is pretty much that. Again, we'll have a look at how things play out going forwards, and we'll be doing some stuff over the winter period. Obviously, if there's any tropical systems out, we'll update on that. But other than that, we may be doing some other stuff during the winter period, so do look out for that winter-spring period. Also, we're going to be looking at upgrading some of our systems to help make better videos, better updates as we go into 2025. I do have some footage from Raphael from our storm boxes. We will have that up, those videos up soon. I am getting some assistance, some help with that from our dear friend there, Mark Sudders from Hurricane Track. And hopefully we'll get those videos up on the channel and maybe even share some of that footage there on his channel on Hurricane Track. So do go check that out. We'll be seeing Mark again. He will be visiting back to Cayman during December. So we'll see how things go there, folks. For now, this is the update from Cayman Hurricane Center. If needs be, we will do some further updates, but we'll be going on the off season at the end of the month. Other than that, take care. Do hope you have a good winter, and see you guys back in 2025.